Hello, welcome to Video Mania 2. I'm the man behind the counter, Duncan, and today we're going to talk about a lesser talked about Steven Seagal movie. It is The Patriot. It also stars Gaillard Sartain, and it was directed by Dean Simler, who directed the Howie Long action movie Firestorm, which I enjoyed a lot. He was mostly a DP. He has an extensive resume as far as DP work goes. Now, this movie is a departure from the usual Steven Seagal fare, and I remember I first saw it on HBO. I had HBO in my dorm for a little while at my first college. And when HBO started running advertisements like a new Steven Seagal movie is going to premiere on HBO, I was like, oh boy, I'm on board with that. And then I saw it. I watched the premiere, and I was disappointed to say the least. And I'm going to explain why I've changed my mind over the years. Now, the plot is Steven Seagal plays a doctor named Wesley McLaren, and he worked in government health for a while and got sick of the bureaucracy and got out of it. So he has a practice in Montana, and he has a ranch out there where he stays, and he raises his daughter. He basically lives a quiet, humble life. And across town, there's a radical militia group headed by Floyd Chisholm. That's Gaillard Sartain's character. He's really good here. And he has a standoff with the FBI. Now, his standoff, he created himself. He sent a video to a judge where he sawed off a shotgun, which is illegal. So, he has a standoff with the FBI and his militia group, but he turns himself in. But before he does that, he got a hold of a biological weapon. It was a very deadly virus, and they think they have the vaccine. So he vaccinates himself and then ingests the virus. And so when he goes to trial, he spits on the judge, and the judge gets deathly ill and eventually dies, but the virus begins to spread. But, so Floyd wants to make his point, his political statement, if you will. But before you know it, they discover that the vaccine doesn't work. The virus is mutated. It slows it down some, but it doesn't stop it. And this virus is deadly. And I mean very deadly. Like, pretty much you get it, you're done. And Chisholm's like, I'm sick. What is going on? And they figured out this vaccine isn't designed for this strain. So Wesley McLaren comes in because he was kind of tipped off something may be happening from an old government friend of his. And he's like, I warned you all about this, storing all these viruses, storing them up and not destroying them. So what happens now is Chisholm's in jail, and he needs to get out, so he has his militia group break him free, and he needs to figure out a way to cure himself, because it turns out McLaren's daughter is immune to it, and they need to get a hold of her and find out why. So McLaren takes his daughter and goes out to the grandfather's ranch, way outside of town, and it's in Montana, so it's kind of isolated. And he knows there's an underground lab there, so he wants to go find a cure for this disease. And he isn't getting sick either, and he can't figure out why. So he goes and he analyzes stuff, and he tries to figure out how to stop this virus. And he can't figure it out. He becomes increasingly frustrated because he's in a race against time. And then, when he discovers how to cure it, it's a clever storyline here, how he discovers it, and I really liked it. Now, I'm going to talk about why I have changed my mind on it. Because when it first premiered, I was like, new Steven Seagal. I was expecting Under Siege or stuff like Fire Down Below or The Glimmer Man or Hard to Kill or any of his other classic action movies. This wasn't that. There's not a lot of action in it. I was usually expecting the keto fight scenes and a lot of shootouts, and that's really not here. It's still an action thriller, but there's not a ton of action scenes in this movie. So when I first saw it, I'm like, well, I didn't get what I was expecting. When I tune into Steven Seagal, I expect a certain formula, and it didn't happen. And I think Steven Seagal was trying something different, and then people didn't like it because they didn't get what they were expecting. But over the years, I've appreciated it for what it was, and some of the storyline elements were pretty clever, and it was just a different thing. So when I go in looking at it now, I know this is one of his, a departure from what he usually does. He wanted to do something a little different, and some people didn't like it, some people did, but I kind of reappraise it, and I appreciate it more now. Now, is it among his best movies? No. Is it up there with Under Siege? Of course not. But it's still, if you go in saying this is different from your usual Steven Seagal stuff, there's stuff to be enjoyed here, and I think it's an enjoyable thriller with some pretty clever storylines. So, anyway, that's all I have for today. If you like older movies or lesser known ones or ones that kind of been forgotten about, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Anyway, let me know in the comments how you feel about The Patriot, how it fares in other Steven Seagal movies. Let me know any of that in the comments, and take care till next time.